Callum, a very eventful debut for you here at the City Ground. What are your reflections of it?
No, definitely, it was definitely eventful for me, obviously, and for the whole team. I think, obviously, at the start, we were figuring out certain things on the press, and sometimes on the ball, it was a bit sloppy in the final third. But as the game went on, I think that our rhythm got better. We started creating more chances, being more creative for what we was doing, and we created more chances, and hopefully, and we got the goal that we deserved.
Yeah, it was an incredible goal. Just to talk us through it, were you confident straight away when you hit that was going in?
To be fair, as soon as I shot, I saw the angle of the ball as soon as I shot, and I knew it was going to either hit the post or go in. And obviously, it was luckily that it hit the post and went in, so yeah, I'm delighted.
And what were the emotions there as you wheeled away to celebrate?
Oh, I was just buzzing. I think, obviously, being here for the first time, playing with the team, everyone has been so welcoming since I've been here, and obviously, it's great to play in front of the Forest fans. They were amazing today. As I said, I'm happy with the goal. Obviously disappointed we couldn't get the 3 points today, but I said we'll go again and hopefully try better next time.
And obviously Steve Cooper is someone you've known from the past, working with England as well. Do you feel this could be a place now where you can really kick on in your career?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I said from the start when I came in that he was the main reason why I was here. And obviously for myself, I want to just develop and keep improving and keep getting better day by day in training or in games. So yeah, he's definitely a main factor in everything that I'm doing. He's speaking to me, he's speaking good words to me, advising me every game, so in every training session. So hopefully I'll be getting better day by day, and obviously hopefully I'll improve.
And there seem to be a lot of exciting signings coming here as well, with you as well. Do you think Forest can really build and go forward from this? Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, I think, as I said, there's a lot of signings in the summer. So obviously for us, it's all about building together, training together. We only trained, I think, like 2 weeks now. So it's been a bit difficult to get everybody to gel properly. But as I said, hopefully as day by day goes on and week by week, we all get better, gel together, understand, and hopefully we improve more and more.
Well done on your debut tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, not a bad way to start your Forest career, Michael.
Not a bad way at all. It was a beautiful camera angle. And we were right behind it. All the viewers at home watching that. As soon as it left his foot, you're screaming that it's a goal. Beautiful goal. I thought he did well in the first half as well. Had a couple of opportunities. And it's a nice start to his career. Scoring a goal early on in your career is also good. Always good for confidence. And I thought he had an impression on the game. He got brought off later on, but this was a fantastic goal. Look at this for an angle. You see how far he sets it out that post and curls back, in off the post. A1E, he does well here. Strong, chest it down, lays it off, and then Hudson-Odoi does the rest.
Yeah, really good centre-forward player, just laying it off and just shifts it. And as Michael said, as soon as it left his foot, you sort of knew it was bending in that top corner.
Yeah, and you kind of saw a response coming from Forest at the time, didn't you, Michael?
You did, you felt it. They have got these attacking players that can cause anybody a little bit of trouble, but I thought Burnley did okay, you know. I thought they restricted them quite well and played their own game. We saw some of the stats there. Burnley outpassed them and the pass completion and all these different stats. So I thought Burnley made a good impression on the game, but I think Forest always look a little bit more likely to score, and that might be the difference between the two sides this season. Forest firepower.
Yeah, we spoke about Hudson-Odoi kind of losing himself before the programme in terms of his career and where it was heading after his days at Chelsea. But has he given Steve Cooper something to think about then today?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously his first start for the club and getting a goal. Really pleased for him to get off to a start like that, and now it's up to him to go and kick on and play lots of games this year, perform, and get a lot of minutes under his belt.
We see so often, don't we, like young kids come on the scene and you think, oh, are they going to be the next superstars? And everybody talks about them. Then they get linked with big money moves and things like that. And then a lot of them go through that little lull, don't they? And I think he's in that category, and it's very, very difficult to get yourself out of it. Fair play to him, though. He wants to get out there. He wants to play more regular. And yes, he's gone to a team that obviously aren't Chelsea, but he's going to get more minutes and going to get the chance to prove himself. So fair play to him, but he's got to sort of reignite his career at the City Ground.
Yeah, and that's what you have to remember. He's only 22. It feels like he's been around for quite some time.
Yeah. I hear you, Manish. I hear you. 22, but 22, you should be in the starting 11 somewhere.
Mind you, you raise the bar at
you're
youngsters.
Absolutely at your prime at 22, really, aren't you? You should be shooting through the ranks.
What were you doing at 22, Ben? That's what
I was just signing for Burnley, actually. Yeah.
Were you? Yeah. But for Hudson-Odoi, now he's got to kick on. He's got to make this count.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is his big chance, really. I mean, as I said, he's had a good grounding at Chelsea. He's done his loan period in Germany, and now he's going to get the love and attention and the minutes that he probably needs at this stage of his career. No excuses now.
Yeah. The disallowed goal, though, for Burnley will come as a bitter disappointment because they thought at this stage that they managed to clinch themselves a winner. When you were watching this, what were you thinking?
Yeah, they thought they'd nicked ahead. Obviously in real time, it doesn't really look like there's anything wrong with the goal. You see here, it brushes his arm slightly, hits his midriff, bounces off the knees and falls into the path. For me, I think it's a bit harsh. I don't know how much he gains from it brushing his arm. I find that quite harsh.
Yeah.
He does well to square it as well, pick his man out, and it's a really good finish from Foster. But for me, in my opinion, it's really harsh to penalise someone for a little brush and hits his midriff, both knees, and then the ball falls nicely for him. But he's not gained much of an advantage. I think it's really, really harsh.
Yeah, that's the point. Does he gain an advantage from that?
Well, if he hits it, if it hits his arm, then he does gain an advantage. But I think what's important to also note that just because he provides the assist this season doesn't mean that it's got to be handball.
No.
That is a decision in isolation, and it's been given for a deliberate handball. I agree with Ben. I think it's very, very slight. Just brushes his arm. I don't think there's any doubt that it does touch his arm. It's very, very slight. And I think Forest can count themselves fortunate, I must say. I mean, I don't think it's a shocker at all.
Yeah.
I think it's a debatable one, but I think I can understand why the likes of Craig Bellamy are arguing the case.
Yeah. And this is where the frustration comes in, because you can say all that you want, I suppose, Ben, at this point. It's not going to change anything, is it?
No, you're right. It's not going to change anything. But you kind of, in them decisions, you're looking for the on-field decision, I think. The linesman's not really seeing it, the referee's not seeing it. So for me, I just feel you slow it down so much, you can pick anything out of it. It's slowed down and slowed down. You look at it a million times. I just feel like it's harsh.
Yeah. I mean, it basically made for a pretty eventful ending to the game for Lars Foster, it has to be said. I mean, it's not the way he wanted to end it.
As he tapped that ball into the net to go 2-1 up, I mean, he wouldn't have felt any higher than the most excited man on the planet. And within minutes, he's had the goal taken off him, and then he's marching off the pitch, having had a red card, and now he's facing 3 games. I mean,
that's the killer, really, isn't it, for Vincent Kompany? I mean, he is their top scorer, albeit with 2 goals. But Ben, has he just been sucked in here?
Yeah, I think the Forest lad has been holding him for a few seconds. I think it's Yates, is it? He's got that in him, Yates, to be fair. A little bit of a nasty side to him, holding on to him, and then Foster's fallen for it, and he's let his team down there, really, and obviously faces that 3-match ban now, and really disappointing for his side.
But it's a harsh lesson in that you just can't get away with things like that here.
Well, as much as I said he's gone from, a high to a huge low, he has to, understand that he has to learn from that. I mean, there's no condoning what he did. It was an elbow. It was to the chest, so you could say it wasn't, so vicious and going for the head area, but it's still
violent conduct, no matter where on the body, right?
Yeah.
And he deserved the red, so he'll have to learn from that.
Yeah. And will that be a real bitter moment now? Does that take the edge off for Vincent Kompany?
Yeah, I think so.
Despite the fact they're up and running with a point.
Yeah, for sure. He'll be disappointed with his players' reaction there, I think, especially late on in the game. And he's the main forward at the minute. He's started every game. He's been scoring the goals, and he'd be really disappointed. I think that'll sour taste a little bit in his mouth after that.
Because these defenders that grab you all the time. It's frustrating.
You were talking about how Ryan Yates has got that in him, but I mean, obviously defenders will use any tool available to them to rile up the opposition, right?
Yeah, no, and Foster's fell for it, hasn't he? He's fallen into that trap of reacting, and you can't get away with it, like you said, these days. And
you say you've never done that before?
Never.
He's grabbing me off camera. He's in him. In these defenders.
But for Forest, though, I mean, it keeps what has been an encouraging start to the season very much alive, right?
Yeah, I think in isolation...
Because they've had to come from behind, show a bit of character.
It did, and I think in isolation, a draw at the start of the season, look at this fixture and think, I wouldn't take that. If you were Steve Cooper, you'd say, nah, I wouldn't take that. But having got the points and accumulated the points that they have already, it's not bad just to keep those points ticking along. They've had a good start. It's not a disaster at all. Burnley are a decent side, and probably a draw was a fair result tonight. So I don't think either manager will be disappointed.
Welcome back to Nottingham Forest, up to 8th in the early table after a 1-1 draw with Burnley at the City Ground. What did their head coach make of it? Here is Steve Cooper.
Steve, a lot to digest in that game. What's your reaction to it?
Yeah, like you said, a lot to look back on. I felt we started brightly. I felt we played some good football, got in some really good positions. I felt we should have done more with the positions that we got in. Should have been more of a threat on the goal than what we were. We give a goal away that we shouldn't do. It's obviously a mistake the way we let him get in down that side. It's a great finish from the lad, to be fair. And then it's about getting in, sort of regrouping and tweaking some things tactically. Second half, again, I thought the boys showed good bravery, and I felt like a big chance was coming. Obviously, Callum's goal is one of high quality, but I did feel like we were on top, and we were really looking to get back into the game. Players high up the pitch, and like I said, we get the goal. And then, to be fair, the game really opened up, didn't it? Both teams tried to win, and there's a few mistakes, and they looked to threat off set pieces late on with Conor Roberts' long throw and things like that. And but I felt that we would get another chance in the game. I think my initial sort of thinking on part of the game that we should have done better on is a bit more quality in and around the box. I felt like when we did have comfortable possession, we did have waves of attack in that final third. I feel like we need to be more productive than what we were in the game. So change the formation, lots of new players in the team, the squad. Doesn't just happen. There's going to be moments where there's a little bit of disconnect. I'm okay with that. So we're only going to take the positives out of the game. We want to be winning games. We want to be winning home games. But at the same time, sometimes if you don't win, then you definitely don't want to get beat. And that's a little bit of our thinking as well.
Were you surprised by the impact of Luca Colliascio in particular? You were forced into a change with your fullback in that situation. Did he cause more problems than you would have liked?
Well, we know he's a good player, and he plays with good penetration, and he comes inside and goes outside. And I was more disappointed with the defending on the goal than to be fair to him. He showed quality, but I was more disappointed because you always look at your own with how we handled that situation. Gonzalo got a yellow card, and we felt that was something we had to be wary of. And then we got good options, on the bench. So no, it's a Premier League game. Every team you come up against has players that can make a difference. So we were fully aware of that. And but then at the same time, I thought our wingers had good impacts and could have been a little bit more productive than what we were, as I said. But that's just going to be the growth of the team.
It was a huge moment of quality as well from Callum Hudson-Odoi, someone you've worked with in the past as well. Are you hoping he can bring this to the team on a regular basis?
I hope we can do more of that. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I thought he had some bright moments. I mean, he hasn't played any football really. We managed to get him a 60 minutes in the 21s game at Harrogate, which he needed a few weeks ago. He's looked good in training. We felt the game needed wide players. And I really want Callum to get up and running it. For a new player, and we've got a few. They want to play. They want to play at home, and they want to show the crowd who they are. And he had some really good moments. I know he has quality. I know he can make a difference. Our job, me and him, to work together is to make sure we get him in the right confident mindset and really back himself to do things like he did tonight. And if he does, it'll only get better for him.
There was a big moment as well when Burnley thought they'd had a second goal and it was ruled out after the intervention of VAR. What was your view of it?
Not really seeing it. From what I told, it was a clear handball, so we'll accept that. And some of the VAR, because you can defend well throughout a game and just have one moment that can cost you a game. And, we nearly had it in the first half and we nearly did it again. And okay, it was handball, whatever. But so my focus really is on that and how we should deal with them situations better. But, okay, trust the process. They give handball and we move on.
Thanks for your time, Steve.
You too, John. Thanks.
So one thing we like about Steve Cooper, Ben, is he's very straight. There's no kind of flowering up what he's thinking. It's straight to the point.
Yeah, he's he talks sense. He's straight to the point, as you said, and you mentioned there he's got a few new players to integrate in the squad. And I think he's having a bit of a laugh there. And he's got 28 players or something to try.
He had 23 from last summer.
Yeah, to try and manage, and every day in training, we're trying to create training drills as well, managing all them players. It's a difficult task for him, but he'll be delighted with Hudson-Odoi coming in and making an impact. And a few other players, new players coming in and making an impact as well. And we're trying to get them into the team, the new lads, and integrate them as quickly as possible. 7 points now. He's given themselves a platform to build on, right?
It's a great start, Manish. It's a great start with the start that they had, their fixtures to start the season. It was Forest are going to be on the back foot, like Burnley. I thought Burnley were going to be in a similar vein, but to go and win I think 6 points before tonight was a great return, and that's why the point tonight isn't so bad. So I think he'll be delighted with the start to the season. Last season was probably a big learning curve for everybody at that football club, and with that experience, I think they'll be absolutely fine this season. It'll be interesting to see how far they can go. Actually,
yeah, mind you, I'm a little bit careful overdoing the optimism for Forest fans because the next fixture is Manchester City away at the Etihad Stadium, although the next fixture after that is even tougher. Brentford.
I agree. Yeah,
you agree.
We go there on the Sunday in a couple of weeks, so it'll be a tough game for us.
Yeah, but this is incredible, right? We're talking about a Steve Cooper side who clearly has the backing of the board, who for so many days last season his future was up for debate, but he got their backing. He's been given the tools and the funds to bring together a really exciting squad. And we don't know the potential of this squad right now, do we?
No, we don't.
I don't think he knows his best 11 yet.
Probably not. And probably that he might see it as a good thing because he's got a lot of players to juggle, a lot of players that he might want to, rest and rotate and things like that. He did get the backing of his club last season when the chips were down. I don't know, I heard rumours at the start of this season that if they start badly, then there might have been a bit of pressure. Yeah. So it's great for him that he started well and that the team are doing well. The fans love him. That's one thing he has got. And I think the football, family, let's say, I think people have got a lot of respect for him, think he's a very good coach. He's done it the hard way. Make no bones about it. He's come through the youth ranks. He's not had a football career to fall back on and a name to fall back on. He's done it the hard way, and he's one of the bright young coaches in the Premier League at the moment.
I'll tell you what is interesting. When they did come up, Forest under Steve Cooper, a couple of years back, they were playing the free-flowing kind of possession-based football that Vincent Kompany had Burnley playing last season in the Championship, but he had to change it around and play a more guarded approach because they knew they were going to get picked off. But do you think they need to be more on the front foot, or the way they're playing now is adequate enough?
I think he'll be pleased with the way they've been playing. Obviously, they've had some fantastic results. Going away to the likes of Chelsea, getting a result, I think is evident to see their improvement as a group. The last season they probably started off a little bit expansive. As you said, that possession-based football maybe they came up with and tried to play like that, but they've learned as they've gone along, and they finished the season really strong last year. Yeah, with some great wins and picked up some really vital points, and started off this season really well the way they're playing. So be pleased with the start they've had for sure. They've had a very good start, and trying to integrate these players into the way he wants to play. Probably maybe get a little bit more possession based as he goes along, as he wants to. Yeah, but that all comes with time, I think.
It's an unforgiving league to learn as you go on, right?
It is, which is great. I mean, if you can stay up after the first year, that gives you a real solid foundation. I'd like to see Nottingham Forest just sort of let players bed in now. I mean, I know there was a lot of players. They had to sign loads of players after they got promotion. And one or two of them are always always going to struggle and may not work. But then there's been another big turnover of players as well. So I think Nottingham Forest as a club probably just need to bed down now, bed into the Premier League. They've had a good start. I agree with Ben, probably a possession game, to improve their possession would be something that he wants to do because, playing against Burnley at home, you probably would expect them to have the lion's share, but Burnley had the fair share as well. So I think that's the next step in their evolvement.
So Forest pick up a point, but it could have been worse, of course, for them. Lyle Foster's goal was disallowed because of a handball by Sander Berge in the build-up. So what did the man who transgressed made of it? Here's Berge now.
Well, Sander, one place to start, really. The goal that was ruled out, what was your view of it?
I mean, 50-50 between me and McKenna, is it? And then, I run through and, the ball gets with me, I think I'm in my normal running pattern and, I don't know where to put my hands really in that case. And then, when we run through there and we score, I don't really think about if it's handball or not. Obviously, the ref asks me after the goal if I use my hand, but I couldn't really tell that I was, it wasn't on purpose or anything, it just felt natural. So, a little bit surprised, but I haven't seen it back, so difficult to say much.
Now, the referee deemed it to be deliberate, I understand, but did you feel it touch your arm? Did you feel you used your arm to control the ball, to to then get the ball under control?
Not at all. Like, I just ran through and then, used my body in the duel, and then my hands kept it in the natural position, and then, stayed in balance and tried to get a ball with me, and I couldn't really tell that, I was doing that in any way. And when I celebrated a goal, obviously I wasn't thinking about if I handballed it or not. I celebrated like we were going up 2-1.
It would have been a brilliant reward for your team as well, because you came here tonight with a much improved performance. How pleased are you to go away, even though it's not the win, with a point?
Yeah, it's step by step for us, not much Premier League experience in our group and a lot of new lads, so it's all about getting connections out there, and get to learn the system and get to learn your teammates. And we're taking step by step, and we worked really hard in training, to learn from 3 difficult home games. But for sure, right step in the right direction. A tough place to come, hostile. They play physical and get the crowd with them. So, we stood up well, and we were chasing the winner, but unfortunately couldn't get one today.
What do you think worked particularly about your approach tonight? Because Nottingham Forest named a very strong attacking lineup, but you seem to be able to nullify that.
Yeah, I mean, we're very possession-based, obviously, and we want to go into every game and trying to dominate and be in control of the game. And obviously, here and there, they create problems for us with their physicality and their speed and their quality up front. But all in all, I think we stood up well, and we were brave today and played to our strengths. And then you can see a lot of quality, which we will just get better and better and build on.
Yeah, how much can you build on that? It must give everyone confidence to be able to come away from home in the Premier League and get a point.
Yeah, for sure, it's massive. We work every day, and we know Premier League is a tough place to be, but at the same time we believe in our identity and our system and how we want to play the games, and we'll just keep on doing that and get better and better, and then more results will come if we improve, and that will be the same for all individuals and as a team.
Yeah, it can't be the easiest for players when they've just come off the field of play to try and front them in front of the cameras and tell it how it was. I mean, what did you think about his explanation behind the handball? I mean, the fact that the referee asked him, did he handball it? I don't think he would have said yes, he did it.
I think when you're in the flow of running and we've seen it slow down so many times, but I think at full speed, you probably agree with him. Maybe, he's probably not meant to put his arm there and, at full speed going through, trying to hold off a player as well at the same time. You can sort of sympathise with him a little bit there. He's not really... It's just,
there's too much going on. Whereas if you've just literally claw it away from someone, then I handballed it there.
Yeah.
But that is in the natural running path. The ball's, just skimmed his arm. I can totally believe what he said there. And it's a little bit unlucky from him.
Yeah, OK, well, we got a brief glimpse there of the Burnley boss. So what did he make of events at the City Ground? Here are the thoughts of Vincent Kompany.
Vincent, the first point of the season for you, but should you be going home with more?
I would have liked to, but I don't know. I thought it was a good game. It was a fairly intense game, and we had to work for every chance that we had. And in the end, maybe there was a bit more in it. But I think there's enough positives for us. The performance was good. We were solid in moments where we had to ride it out, and then on the ball, I thought we showed exciting signs. And there's so many things that will still improve. So step by step, hopefully we'll get to play more of these games and win more of these games.
Is that the most control you've enjoyed in the game so far this season in the Premier League?
Yeah, but the thing with the Premier League is when you play City, Aston Villa and Tottenham in your first 3 games, I mean, I'd love to have control and everything goes our way, but it's the same for Forest when they play against these teams. It's the same for us, for Sheffield United. That's why a point is so valuable at the moment. But for us, the biggest thing is if we keep progressing, we keep getting better, and loads of these first-year Premier League players will just get better very soon. Then it's an exciting team beyond even this season. But this season, obviously, is the priority with us being in a battle, of course.
How pleased were you with the finish by Amdouni? He took it so well.
Yeah, but that's easy for him. There's something in his game, and we're trying now to make sure he gets up to that Premier League level, which is doing every side of the game, the defensive side. He does his best and he does well already, but when he becomes that complete Premier League player, then these bits are what will make him very important, because he can score goals from any position.
It looked like you'd won the game late on with that late goal, and then VAR intervenes. What was your reaction as soon as the referee went across the monitor?
No, I've got to get used to it because, like I said, in the Championship, if it's in, it's in. So I would have liked this to go in, but I'm not going to let it take anything away. It's not in my nature as well to start being bitter towards a fish. I mean, I feel like their intentions were right, and I didn't see anything else in the game, and therefore we focus on ourselves and a team that can go and win these games in the future.
Your first point, as we said, this season, how important was it to get something on the board quicker rather than later? You know, you've got four games in, you've got a point. How good is that for you?
Yeah, it's key. I mean, especially if you look at the first 5 games, because we got a game less than the other teams. You can see how valuable each point is. I mean, the teams at the bottom are scrapping for points, and we are doing the same. But what I feel is, and this is what I keep focusing on, is this is our journey right now. But this team has got so much growth in it, and for us coaches is to work tirelessly and get it out of them as quickly as we can.
Great, so thanks for your time, Vincent. All the best. Cheers, pal.
Some really interesting things are spoken about by Vincent Kompany. He says he can see progress. Can you see signs of progress at this early stage?
I think so. I think even during that game then, I think you saw players become used to it, getting on the ball, creating more chances. And I believe him when he says, these players will get better quickly. There's a lot of talent out there. A lot of players have signed. Obviously, they've been scouted well. And, we saw Koleosho play really well today. Foster did well in bits, obviously, apart from the end. Yeah. I think, I fully believe him when I say there's a lot of growth within the team, and hopefully he's one to bring it on.
And before today's game, they conceded 3 or more goals. Before today, so I think as a defensive unit they can take heart from that, right?
Yeah, I thought in the main they were fairly solid. Forest didn't create an awful lot. It took a worldie of a goal to get past them. So he'll take a lot of positives from that for sure.
Yeah, one of them is also the form of Zeki Admouni, who scored Burnley's opening goal here. I mean, he scored already against Forest in the League Cup only 19 days ago, but this was a really well-made goal, wasn't it?
It was well made from this left-hand side. We sort of highlighted at half-time how much of their play came through this left-hand side, but when the ball bounced, a little bit fortuitous to just pop up where it did. That little miss kick there from Foster, but then, I mean, there's nothing lucky about the strike. That's not an easy technique. On the left foot, bouncing ball, most of the time it goes one way and that's up, but to keep it down and to hit it, that well, right into the corner, it was a lovely goal.
And set up by 19-year-old Koleosho, who looks a real prospect, £2.6 million from Espanyol. Now, what's interesting is Burnley, of course, one of the 3 sides who've been promoted to the Premier League this season, for whom it's been a brutal start to life in England's top flight. They've played 13 games between them. They've only managed to garner 2 points, that being Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United. I mean, that is a baptism of fire if ever there was one, right?
Yeah, not easy at all. A lot of people say it's the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is getting bigger even. I think the last time all 3 teams that came up went back down was about 25, 26 years ago or something. So it's a long time, but it's a distinct possibility this season. Early days still, and a lot of these teams will improve, but you've got to say that Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton are 3 of the favourites to go down.
Ben?
Yeah, they'll be concerned, obviously, getting left behind. They'll need to pick up points quickly. It doesn't get any easier in the Premier League. Tough games every week, home and away. And, they'll have to learn quick and start picking up points.
There are 5 teams still looking for their first win.
Yeah.
That's a lot, really. It feels like a lot at this stage.
Absolutely. And there's teams there that the likes of Burnley, Luton and Sheffield United will think, we can finish above them, but there's no bad teams in the Premier League, are there? It's going to be an uphill struggle for them.
OK, great stuff. On that note, we're going to have to leave it there in terms of today's Matchday Live. My thanks to Michael. Ben, great to see you. All the best for the rest of the season with Brentford. Point apiece then at the City Ground. It might not be a win for Burnley, but at least they're off the mark. Bye for now.